electronic music. Your home for the latest in trance and progressive. The latest tunes selected. The hottest tracks in a row. Straight to your music player.
Welcome to the new world.
This is A State of Trance podcast. Here's your host, Armin van Buuren.
A memorial episode of the State of Trance podcast reaching 200 episodes. And this week with great new music by Dreas and Alex Roberts, Shogun, Andrew Rayel and Full Tilt with Deirdre and McLaughlin. But first, a great progressive track by the Russian duo Matisse and Sadko, out soon on Pilot 6 recordings. Here's Amulet.
Straight to your music player. This is a State of Trance podcast.
Up next on the State of Trance podcast, a very nice track on the label Soundpiercing, and a track I would call a happy mood maker. The new one with Dreas and Alex Roberts. Here is Lumi. The State of Trance podcast. Quick look at the emails. Ricardo Lozano from Monterrey, Mexico, wishes his girlfriend Karina a very happy birthday. Also, Omar Teguera from Florida, USA, shouts out to his girlfriend Jor Cordoba in Panama. Congratulations on your first year together. Hoda from Germany sends a big shout out to his best friend Fami and all my fellow Egyptians. You want to hear a shout out? Send me an email, armin@astateoftrance.com. Okay, enough talking, back to the music. A State of Trance podcast 200, the follow-up to this year's Bomb Skyfire, and last week voted future favorite. Here is Shogun's new one, Lotus.
Watch the lotus climb. Exhale as peace revives. Now dream. Watch the lotus rise. Watch the lotus revive.
For podcast track listings and more, check out www.astateoftrance.com.
Continue this week's State of Trance podcast with last week's Tune of the Week on the regular show. And I have a feeling this track was inspired by the forthcoming events of the State of Trance 550 next year. And there's loads and loads of info on the celebrations on thestateoftrance.com, by the way. Here is Rayel with 550 Senta.
astateoftrance.com.
The last tune on this week's podcast is an all-Irish track from the producers Full Tilt and the singer Deirdre McLaughlin, all coming from the great but rainy island, as well the guy that remixed it. It's going to release it on his label Subculture. Here's John O'Callaghan's remix, Surrender. That's it for this week. If you still want to hear more of the latest in trance and progressive, surf now to astateoftrance.com or click arminradio.com for previous episodes of this podcast. Speak to you next week for a brand new edition of the State of Trance podcast.
Thank you for tuning in. For more info about this podcast, go to astateoftrance.com. Tune in next week for more A State of Trance.
For more info, check www.armadamusic.com.